Okay, the sigma notation. So, kuan taron 4, 1, 22. Okay, they're still coming in. So, technically, class, we have here a function. It's a rule of correspondence. So, we have, okay, between two sets of elements called the domain and the range now. So such that for every element in the domain, there corresponds one and only one element in the range. Wait for a while. Okay, class. So this definition can simply be put in the following manner. A function, it is a formula, no, that converts elements of a given set into another set of elements. For example, we're going to consider the number or the set of number s. No? The set of number s having an elements of 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9. So this element of s, and let f be a function on s. Okay, we are going to define by f of x is equal to 2x plus 4. So, we're
Excuse
going
me,
to
ma'am.
come
Wala ko na
up.
magpa-accept, ma'am.
Finding the value of f of 1, since the set of numbers given from 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9. So if you're going to find the value of the function f of x, if x is equal to 1, then we're going to substitute the value of x, which is 1 also, plus 4. So you have a corresponding value. Then if if x is 3, then we have also 2 times 3 plus 4. So we have 10, 6 plus 4. If x is 4, then we have 2 times 4 plus 4. So 8 plus 4 is equal to 12. If x is 6, then 2 times 6 plus 4, then we get 12 plus 4, 16. No? If x is 9, then we have 2 times 9 plus 4 is simply equal to 18 plus 4, 22. So thus, the set S is now transformed into the set. So if we are going to tabulate the value of the domain, x having a value of 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9 has a corresponding value. Or transform into the set of from 1 to 6, from 3 to 10, 4 to 12, 6 to 16, 9 to 22. So, mo ni siya ato ang the new set is now being transformed given that the domain A values are being used. So, for the sigma notation class, we have the formula here, or the definition. So, ang mga dito rataan ni sa iyahang steps, no? The sum, or the summation of the sum of two or more variables is the sum of their summation. So, thus, ang atong formula, the summation, okay, given here the subscript with subscript x sub I plus y sub I plus z sub I, where I is from 1 to n. Okay, it will go plus. So we have here class, for the sigma notation class, kaning atong symbol nga sumika ni, ano siya ito gitawag, Greek capital letter, sigma. Okay, it is used to represent the sum, no? Sum. Okay. The sum ni siya. This is what we called the sum. So you are going to add, no, all the variables in the given set. So so we have here, for finding the sum of x sub I, y sub I, and z sub I, where I is from 1 to n. So if you're going to expand this one, so we are going to substitute. Okay. Or first, we're going to distribute one at a time. No? Okay, the sigma notation. So x sub I, where I is from 1 to n, plus the summation of y sub I, where I is from 1 to n, plus the summation of z sub I, where I is from 1 to n. Pwede na ito na siya i-distribute by using distributive axiom. So kani siya, we have here the sum or of multiple terms, no? So we have here the index also. Kani siya nga symbol is accompanied by an index that varies and to encompass all terms that must be considered in the sum. So we have here the index where I is from 1 to n. So by substitution class, if we are going to expand this one, so kung x sub I pwede mo ni siyang x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus, okay, to make it short, either 1 or 2 variables with subscript where I is from 1 to 2, then the rest kay to the nth man na, x sub n na lang siya, no? So that is the first sum or multiple of terms. Then kanipod, we have also y sub 1 plus y sub 2 plus 3 dots plus
Ma'am, na daw
y
na
sub.
observe.
Okay. Then plus the summation, okay, of z sub I. Z sub I where I is from 1 to n, so z sub 1 plus z sub 2 plus 3 dot plus z sub n, no? That is how we are going to expand this formula. So an example for this, if, okay, given the values of the following variable, x sub 1 is 2, we have also x sub 2 is 4, we have also y sub 1, and y sub 1 is 3, and y sub 2 is negative 1. Find the value of the summation of the absolute value, or no, of quantity 3x sub I minus y sub I plus 4, where I is from 1 to 2. So we have here, so either you distribute first class, kana. So before we discuss, kani siya, ano man siyang sa kaning 4, wala man siya variable. So for that, we are going to discuss this formula first before we solve this one. Another formula, if C is a constant. So C is a constant. We have a constant 4, no? We have a constant 4. Given ang ato ang n. So if n or if C, sorry, C man siya kay constant. If C is a constant, then ato formula ani summation of a constant C where I is from 1 to n. So ang formula ani is n, which is the value of n times the constant C. So based ani, makasolve na ta ani ng example. So when we are going to distribute the summation, so summation, okay, constant 3, paggawas na to na siya, x sub I, where I is from 1 to 2, minus the summation of y sub I, where I is from 1 to 2. Then 4, okay, 4 is a constant. So we have the summation of 4, where I is from 1 to 2. So ang ato ang answer ani 3, okay, you just bring down the constant 3. Ang x sub 2, you have to add using I is from 1 to 2 minus for y sub I, where I is from 1 to 2, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 plus kani siya ang 2 nga value sa n times the constant 4. So muna siya itong gigamit ng formula sa number 2. So since we have the value of x sub 1, x sub y sub 1 and y sub 2, So we are going to replace, substitute the value 2 plus 4 minus y sub 1 is 3 minus 1 for y sub 2 plus 8. So therefore, 6 times 3, 18, minus 3 minus 1 is 2 plus 8. So may tabo, 16. 18 minus 2, 16. 24, no? Plus 8. So ang answer is 24. Napay kami. Okay, class. This is how we're going to solve this example. So we're going to expand. First, we're going to substitute first the value of I, the index, no? So that's for example number 1. Let's proceed to the example of number 2. Another formula. Okay, since we have 2 formulas here. If, okay, kani siya, ako na lang yung gagawin na solve. If C is a constant, so then, okay, kani nga formula gi-apply natin siya diri. The summation of a constant C times x sub I, where I is from 1 to n. So, muna siya itong i-apply sa first variable, no? With a constant 3. So, ipagawas ang 3 as a constant, sorry, sa itong formula C. Pagawas ang constant C times the summation of x sub I, rise from 1 to n. So, humanataan ni formula. So, take note of the formula. So, ano man naman ninyo nag-take of picture, no? So, kani siya. Formula po ni. So, since, okay, we have another example class. Simplify na pa. Simplify. Example lang. Simplify the summation of quantity x minus I. We have, okay, raised to the power of 2, where I is from 1 to 3. Okay. So, all we have to do, class, since we have a square of a binomial, pwede na ito siya gamitan og, and we are going to expand. So, pwede ka summation of a square of a binomial, no? A minus b squared. So, since the sign in between is negative, alternate ang ato ang sign. So, a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So, positive, negative, positive. So, if you're going to expand this one, square the first term, x squared, minus twice the product of the alphabetical order, ix, plus square the last term, I squared plus. So, pwede niya yung niyo, no? Or xi. Okay. So, if we're going where I is from 1 to 3. So, after any class, you're going to distribute, use distributive action. So, pwede niyo yung x, summation of x squared, where I is from 1 to 3 minus 2. So, constant ipagawas, summation. Since kaning variable na x, treat this as a constant kaya wala man siya equivalent value from the index, no? So, ipagawas na siya 2x where I. So I is from 1 to 3 plus the summation of I squared where I is from 1 to 3. Okay. So kani siya kay constant maning x. Oh. Wala man tayo, di man siya index. So therefore, x squared lagi ni siya. Pero, naatay constant siya, constant man siya. Treat this is a constant. So we have the formula also here, no? Kani, itong formula. If c is constant, so x is constant, times n ra ka. So, 3 times x squared na siya. Take note of that. Since it is not belong to the index. So, kani po siya, minus 2x. Ang I na to is from 1 plus 2 plus 3. So, you're going to sum to add this index from 1 to 3 for I, plus we have also here the sum of I squared. So 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared. Okay. Substituting I from 1 to 3. So ang I raised to the power of 2. So take note of this, guys. 3x squared minus 2x. So 3, 6 mo ni siya. Kaya we are going to expand and multiply 1 twice itself. 1 times 1, 1. 2 times 2, 4. Not 2 times 1. Kaya dili mo ni mo 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3. Okay. 9 now. Okay, kung mo yung 3 times 2, may mo siyang 6. We multiply 3 twice itself. Not to the exponent. No? So we have now 14 man siya. So 3x squared minus 12x plus 14. So muna siyang final answer. Okay. Double summation. So we have the symbol double summation of I, where I is from 1 to n, and j is from 1 to n. And this is called double summation. Okay, class. Example ani ha. Example. I'm going to illustrate. So you have the double summation of x sub ij, where I is from 1 to 3 and j is from 1 not similar 2 to 4. Example. So we solve first the innermost, no? Summation class. Any first, second. So as is ni ang outermost summation 1 to 3. Then we have here the summation of x sub ij, where j is from 2 to 4. So ang atong ilisan ani x sub I, ang j na to is from 2, okay, plus x sub I isa sunod so 3. O sa j 2, 3 plus x sub I, as is ang I subscript. J is to 4, no? To 4. Ano siya? Next, we're going to substitute the value of I. Yes? Oh, okay. Wait, class. After any class, we are going to substitute I from 1 to 3. So, either we distribute first, use distributive actions. Sayon. Ngayon ka, summation of x sub I to, where I is from 1 to 3, plus the summation of x sub I 3, where I is from 1 to 3, plus the summation of x sub I 4, 1 to 3. Equals. After we use distributive action, then we can expand. Here in the first summation, x sub 1, okay, but ang j na to constant, plus x sub 2, 2, plus x sub 3, 2. So, as is ang ato ang subscript ng j, 2. Ang ato ang I is from 1 to 3. Another one, yun na po, x sub 1, 3, plus x sub 2, 3, plus x sub 3, 3. Then, the last, x sub 1, 4, plus x sub 2, 4, plus x sub 3, 4. Okay, this is how you're going to Sige na. Wait, guys. Okay, where are we now? Okay, this one. So, or we can, since addition is commutative class, we can rewrite either unahon na to tana ng x sub 1, no? With subscript 1. So, 1, 2 plus x sub 1, 3 plus x sub 1, 4. Pwede lagi hapon na siya. Then also x sub 2, 2 plus x sub 2, 3 plus x sub 2, 4. Pwede lagi hapon na siya. Or x sub 3, 2 plus x sub 3, 3 plus x sub 3, 4. Ilagay po na siya class. Okay, since addition is commutative. So, another example I have here. Challenging. So, this is not a summation notation, but using partial fraction. No? Using partial fractions, you can still get tables of partial fraction. Differential equation. Okay. So, example, the summation of negative 6 over k squared plus 2k, where k is from 1 to 70. Okay, ang n niya very big, no? 670. And we have a constancy, constant number, negative 6 in the numerator. While ang term sa denominator, k squared plus 2k. To eliminate fraction class, we need to use partial fraction. So, pwede natin siya ma-rewrite. Pagawas na ito ang negative 6 times the summation okay, of 1 over k squared plus 2k, where k is from 1 to 70. Okay, and then we're going to solve this one first. So using partial fraction, solve 1 over k squared plus 2k using partial fraction. Okay, class. So to eliminate fraction, we need to factor out first k squared plus 2k. Find the common factor. So k, no? K is the common. We have k plus 2. So equivalent ani niya, so partial fractions, we have a over k plus b over k plus 2. Okay, so we're going to, these are the least common denominator, the given fraction. So using partial fraction, we have the value of a and b. So to eliminate fraction class, we need to multiply both sides by the least common denominator, which is k and k plus 2. Okay, so 1 na lang na siya. If we're going to multiply, kaya makancel man siya diri, no? Ngayon, dinhi, sa pikas, sa right side, we're going to distribute, okay? We're going to distribute, makancel ang k. So, ang mabilin, a times k plus 2. Then, diri po, cancel ang k plus 2. Ang mabilin is b times k, no? So, in order to eliminate fractions, we need to find the value of a and b here. So, unsaon pag 0 ang a, let k is equal to negative 2, no? So, by substitution, if k is negative 2, so as is rin atong left side, okay? But, ang atong a din, mahimong negative 2 plus 2. So, 0 na ni siya. Kani siya, negative 2b, no? So, ang ato ang 1 is equated to negative 2b. So, na natin value sa b, which is negative 1/2. So, solving for a. So, if we're going to solve a, finding the value of a, we let k is equal to 0, no? So, 1 is equal to a, 0 for k plus 2 plus 0 for k times b. Okay, so 1 is equal to 2a plus 0. So, therefore, a is equal to 1/2, no? So, na natin value sa a of b. Go back now to the partial fraction. So, balik ta diri sa itong partial fraction class, sa itong formula. So, kani siya, mahimo na ni siyang the summation of a over k plus b over k plus 2, no? Where k is from 1 to 70, no? Since we have the value of our a and b, so we have the summation of 1/2 over k plus negative 1/2 over k plus 2, where k is from 1 to 70. So solving this one class, since 1/2 is a common factor, pwede po natin na siya ipagawas na amantay negative 6 sa gawas. Na negative 16 he, no? So pwede natin na siya ipagawas negative 6 times 1/2. 1/2 ang common, kay constant na siya. Times the summation of 1 over k minus 1 over k plus 2. So, negative sign, pabilin na ni din he, where k is from 1 to 70. So, 6 divide 2, so negative 3. Na ay negative 3 sa gawas na. So, solving now. pwede po na siya na to i-distribute class, no? The summation of 1 over k, where k is from 1 to 70, minus the summation of 1 over k plus 2, where k is from 1 to 70. Okay, using distributive action. So if we're going to expand, okay, this fraction class, as is a negative 3, okay. Kani, example, 1 to 5 rato gamiton, then to the end na to the 70. If k is 1, so 1 over 1 plus, puro mo na siya, plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 5 plus, so 78 plus 1 over 69 plus 1 over 70. Okay, we end up to that. Okay, the second time around, okay, if we are going to distribute, no, negative, negative, positive na ni siya. Okay, 3. Okay. If k is 1, up to 5 lagi hapon ta. 1, 1, plus 2, plus 1 over 2, plus 2, plus 1 over 3, plus 2. So I just substitute k from 1 to 5. Wala akong gamit din first series of summation. Plus 1 over 4, plus 2, plus 1 over 5, plus 2, plus that, plus gamit kong 68. 1 over 68 plus 2 plus 1 over 69 plus 2. 70 plus 2. Okay, until there. I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide this one class. So, kaning negative 3, 1 divided 1, 1, plus 1 half, plus 1 third, plus 1 fourth, plus 1 over 5, plus that, plus 1 over 68, plus 1 over 69, plus 1 over 70. Okay. Plus 3. Okay. 1 over 2 plus 1, so 1 third. Plus 1 over 4. Plus 1 over 5. Plus 1 over 6. Plus 1 over 7. Plus that. Plus 1 over 70. Okay. Plus 1 over 71. Plus 1 over 72. Okay. We end go up to that. So if we're going to distribute 3 class, okay, may na siyang negative 3. Okay, kani. Negative 3 halves. Negative 3 divided 3, 1, no? Okay. Negative 3 fourths. Negative 3 fifths. Okay. Minus po na siya din ha. Minus that. Minus 3 over 68. Minus 3 over 69. Minus 3 over 70. Okay. Kanipod, 3 divide 3, 1. Plus 1. So, asa man na ito itungod ang iyahang kapareho ani diri. Plus 1. Okay, like terms. Similar terms. So, kani po siya plus 3 fourths plus 3 fifths. Plus na siya tanan. Kanang naa sa sulod din ha, mo cancel out na siya. Kung unsay in between dira sa dot, mo cancel out na siya. Mo cancel out na siya kay negative positive man. Dayon plus 3 over 68. 3 over katong 68 appeal ni siya kay mo cancel out man gani sa kani dinhi kay 3 over 70 diri man ta mo plus 3 over 70. So kani siya including pa ni mo cancel out na siya. Mo cancel out ni siya class. No kay napunta dito sa sulod ni 63 over 68 positive. So unlike kaning 3 over 70, 3 over 70 dinhi wala na ni siya. Oh, mo-appeal na gihapon, ma-cancel out di gihapon no. Ma-cancel out kay negative ug positive. Pero ang dili ma-cancel out kani siyang plus 3 over 71 plus 3 over 72. So dili na ni siya ma-appeal. So take note unsa may mga remaining numbers diri. So we have negative 3 minus 3 halves plus 3 over 71. Mo na lang ning dili ma-cancel out no kay walay pares. 3 over 71. So finding the least common denominator, if you are going to add this one, is 4 fraction. Okay. So makuha na to negative 7525 over 127,709. Or in terms of decimal, negative 4.416. So ang kuan lang ani class is step by step lang ang inyong application no, so summation. So first, we're going to use the partial fraction formula, finding the value of A and B. After that, we're going to factor out what is common and use distributive action. Then apply the formula for summation. Okay, so kani class tun ininyo ni ready 48. So, I'll be giving you a quiz next week. Okay, Monday before we start our class. Either in it's an enumeration, and I also give you, I think, 2 or 3 numbers for this, the summation notation. So kindly study no, kani the basic summations formula. Balik-balik lang ni siya. And then, so the first part of your quiz will be either an enumeration or filling the blanks. So katong atong mga kuan terms no in statistics, and we have problem solving for the summation notation class. Before we proceed to the discussion of the measures of the tables and graph and the measures of location or the measures of central tendency by next week. So Monday we intended that one for quiz, and then Friday na to may klase. Okay. Any questions from here, boys? Before I check your attendance.
Question, ma'am.
Ha?
Kana bang sa kuan, ma'am? Kana bang sa positive 3 depend sa kuan?
Oo.
Asa napunta ng 1 over 6 o 1 over 7, ma'am?
Ang 1 over 6 and 1 over 7 asa kani?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, kana siya. 3 over 6 naman na siya. 3 over 6. Kana siya kay 3 over 5 raman ta dinhi. 3 over 6. Na siya dinhi no. Kaya wala nang siya pares diri sa taas. Pero gatuan na siya kumplituhon, makita na to ang pair ani niya. Kaya up to 5 raman ta. How about kung naapa ka dinhi 1 over 6. So na po kay 3 over 6 dira sa taas. Negative 3 over 6. Mo pair po siya sa positive 3 over 6. So makancel ra to. So kaning naas to nga ako gi-enclose in curly braces. Makancel out ra na siya tanan. Kay positive negative man ang sign. So try to see if your number substituted to the index is from not only by 5. So makita nimo tanan din na. So until such time kaning diri sa 1 over 70, makancel ni siya. So ako ang giinana, i-cancel out na ako kay all the numbers can be cancelled out from that portion. Wala siyang iyahang point wherein Asa na ni? Tinuunsa na lang na. Ubay na dyan ay niya kung nasolve ay. Wait ha. Nawala na ko class. Asa na ni? Ini mo sa doon ikaw mali ayun. Okay, class. So, any questions from here up to this point? Mag-cancel out ni siya dong kay we have negative 3/5 sa taas. Kani lang man siya makita pero 3/6 na siya diri sa sulod na po kay negative 3/6 din sa taas kung na up to 6 ta din he. So ma-cancel out na siya sa sulod.
Ma'am?
Ha? Kakuha ka?
Mo-send ka ani sa ano, ma'am, sa Google Classroom, ma'am.
Na mo gani lang niin ko naman ninyo og picture kay di na ko ka kuan aning inaani kataas.
Ma'am, pwede ba?
Ano man yung
Maki-picture na lang mi ma'am.
Ha?
Pwede ba good
Oh,
Picture na.
picture na lang mo from here.
Sige, go.
One. Okay, mana mo? For I move down. Up.
Okay na ma'am.
Okay na, ma'am.
Then two. Mana?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay na.
Okay, ma'am.
ay dito?
Okay na.
Yes, ma'am.
Kininday.
Okay na, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So attendance for today. Say percent if you are called Akain, Adong, Amano.
Adong present, ma'am.
Amano present, ma'am.
Akain.
Akain
I'm
present,
sorry.
ma'am.
Okay. Adong,
Adong present, ma'am.
Amano.
Abano present, ma'am.
Amorin,
Amorin present, ma'am.
Anfoni,
Anfoni present, ma'am.
Batadlan,
Patadlan present, ma'am.
Bayato,
Bayato, present, ma'am.
Cabrera, Mark,
Cabrera present, ma'am. Cabrera present.
Kadayday,
Kadayday present, ma'am.
Pariaga,
Cariaga, present, ma'am.
Katilok,
Katilok present, ma'am.
De La Cruz,
De La Cruz present, ma'am.
De La Torre,
De La Torre, present, ma'am.
Elia, Ella, not around. Fortuito, Fortuito absent. Gabas,
Gabas,
Marli-
present, ma'am.
kay Galaura, Ronda,
Ronda present, ma'am.
Laranjo,
Laranjo, present, ma'am.
Laranjo absent. Lirio,
Lerio present, ma'am.
Albert,
Yes,
Lera,
ma'am.
Mika,
Lira, present, ma'am.
kay Manalo,
Manalo, present,
Manalo,
ma'am.
Marco,
Marco present, ma'am.
Margalio,
Margalio present, ma'am.
Mebuena,
May buena present, ma'am.
Miral,
Miral, present, ma'am.
Morados,
Morados, present, ma'am.
Ugok,
Ogok, present, ma'am.
Palalon,
Palalon, present, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes,
Yung sila
Inday,
yan, present ka, ma'am.
ha,
Sila
okay,
Excuse me, ma'am.
hmm,
Elia, ma'am, present, ma'am. Nawala mo gud akong connection ganina.
okay, Fortuito absent.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Pat-
Sala po, ma'am, present.
Wala lang yung
okay.
tawag, ma'am.
Patron, Kati, Ann,
Patron, ma'am, present.
Perez,
Perez, ma'am, present.
Planteras,
Planteras present, ma'am.
Renacia,
Reinasha, present, ma'am.
Ricania,
Ricania, present, ma'am.
Ribas,
Rivas, present, ma'am.
Ruiz,
Ruiz, present, ma'am.
Sabado,
Sabado, present, ma'am.
Sala, Shelton,
Sala present, ma'am.
Sala absent. Saladaga,
Saladaga present, ma'am.
Salde,
Salde, present,
Sevellejo,
Sergio, present, ma'am.
Sudario, Precious, okay, absent. Suwelto,
Swelto, present, ma'am.
Sumagang,
Tumagang present, ma'am.
Tampiok,
Ma'am, Sergio, present.
Ampiak present, ma'am.
okay.
Ampiak present, ma'am.
Tan,
Tan, present, ma'am.
Pindok,
Tindok present, ma'am.
Tuyor,
Tuyor, present, ma'am.
Vidad, Lloyd, absent. Villegas, Daniela, absent. Kinsa kay to ni sit in, wala mo ni sit in diri no. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh,
Sala present, Toad, ma'am.
Sala, okay, present, Sala.
Thank you, ma'am.
Palalon, Nicole.
Palalon, present, ma'am.
Okay, only for Tito Junril absent. And, okay, and, okay, na si Ella din. Okay, so see you next week, Monday class for your quiz. Please study the examples that we had this morning. No? Okay? Sige, class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.